If you haven't joined our mailing list, please sign up because we want to connect with you personally. You can do so very easily. It only takes a few seconds of your time to enter in your name, email address, and click sign up. It's that simple. What's up, everybody? I'm Marcel. Today I get another episode for you. Today we are going to get into a plugin that is very useful. And I know I say that about all the useful plugins, but I find this one extremely useful, more of in a utility approach. And so today we are going to get into analyzing plugins. What we're going to do, we are going to take off the hood. We're going to lift the hood up behind a few plugins that I enjoy using, and see what's going on behind the scenes before you even touch a knob, click on anything, turn anything. We want to see what the plugin is doing by default, and this plugin will give it to us for us. And I was actually leaning to say that this plugin is for free. You can download it. It is a plugin by Bertom, and the link will be in the description below. So go ahead, go into the description. You can check that out, and you'll find some more information and things we got to offer as well in the description below. So go ahead, check them out. It's a really, really good plugin, and it's for Mac users as well as for Windows users. So first, let me get the plugin that I want to analyze. Actually, let me make actually, I don't want to make that. I'm just going to make an audio one here, which is fine, because I don't want to touch this mastering. I don't want to touch that in this process. It'll kind of just slow us down. So I'm just gonna make an audio track. All right. So the first plugin that I want us to analyze is by Arturia. It is their version of the 1176. It is their version of the 1176, and this is one of the plugins that I absolutely love to use. I use this a lot when I'm mixing, and I just love the way it feels and the way it sounds. And of course, there's some more advanced features that I love using, and I tend to use this a lot on vocals if there's something that I really need to attack. But I don't want to go in too much about this, but it's a really good plugin. All right, so here's the plugin that I want us to really get to today. So I'm going to navigate to my plugins, and it is by Bertom. It is the EQ Curve Analyzer plugin. And if you notice, you're hearing a clicking sound. That is just the signal generator of the first instance of your plugin. And this has to be first in the chain, and here it's second. So I'm going to move this plugin above what I want to analyze. There we go. So this plugin is first in the chain. And remember, we need two instances of this. So we're going to load this up again. And as you hear, there's no longer any clicking. So signal flow is you have your generator, and that is moving through what you're analyzing, and then it is shown on this plugin here. So let's close this, and we just need to focus on this plugin and this instance of the EQ plugin. Yeah, we can do it like that. All right. You know what? Let me do it this way. There we go. All right. So as you notice here, there is some EQ happening here. There is something going on here. There is a slight drop off that is happening with this plugin. And remember, I'm not doing anything to the plugin. This is how it's loaded by default. So any sound source I put this on is automatically going to get a little bit of the top end shaved off from it. And that's part of the color that you get from this type of compressor by Arturia, their version of it. And it's very important to know, especially when you're mixing, because you can kind of kill two birds with one stone. If you need something just to roll off the top end a little bit and you want to compress, there's already EQ curves that are built into these compressors. And it's something that I've known, but I really wanted to share this because I've recently got this plugin maybe like a month or two ago. Just been just going through some more of my plugins, and this is what I've been really messing around with. And this is the, hold on, nope. All right, let's see what's going on here. It says the DAW preventing to work. Nope, we didn't bypass it. So all right, let's try this again. Let's try this again. We're gonna do no plugin. Okay, that's the generator. So we're gonna move that up here. Actually, we had it right the first time. All right, let's move this down. And all right, so now let's load another instance of the plugin. All right, there we go. Not sure what happened there. It might be, I'm not sure what happened there. But let's bring this back up. So this is something that you really want to know while you're mixing, that you know what you're doing. When you reach for this, you know that if you want the shine back, that you're going to have to do it EQ wise. You're going to have to go in and bump it up by however much you think it needs according to what you had before. Before I touch anything, this is it. And I want to do another plugin. Let's do another 1176 emulation. I believe it's Plugin Alliance. They have the purple. I believe this is it. Yes, this is it. All right, so now looking at this, it has a different EQ curve, a very different one. It has probably like a slight, very slight, maybe a half a dB or something. It has a slight slope at the top end, as well as just a little tiny bit at around 20 hertz. So to compare the two, we're going to go ahead. Let's pull that up. All right, here we go. So we have that running. We have the purple engaged right now. All right, so let's bypass the purple and let's engage Arturia's version of it. And it's a whole completely different slope. So that tells me if you want the 1176 without it messing with your top end and you don't want to EQ, you want to go for this. You want to go for another emulation that does not have that type of effect, or a color, I should say color, built within the plugin. All right, and so let's go ahead. I have a couple of plugins I actually want to try. What EQ I want to go to? Actually, there's a saturation plugin that I want to hit. There's another one that I want to hit. All right, it's doing it again. So there we go. And okay, let's try this again. I apologize to everybody. I apologize that it keep having me going back and forth. And I think it wants me to update it, because there is an updated version of this, but I'm not updating it right now. We're going to stay right here. All right, so let's get rid of this plugin and let's navigate to FabFilters, Saturn 2. Let's go to Saturn 2. And this is without me touching anything. This is what this plugin is doing by default. This is what this plugin is doing. And this is really good to know. You're going to get a bump around 1K or so, a little above 1K, or 1.5K, 1.12K. You have a roll off at the low end. You have a roll off at the top end. Stuff like that is really, really good to know. And I have it on the default setting of the warm tape. And so I'm going to mess with this drive button, and let's see what we can get. And as you see there, this is what's happening in real time. When you add drive, this is what's happening. All right, so let's do another. Let's try a transformer. Let's do a gentle transformer. And it does what it says. It's a gentle transformer. It's a slight EQ curve. More so, you can really notice it here at the end. Very, very more noticeable here. Very, very noticeable here. Other than that, I mean, it's a slight, but nothing crazy. In my opinion, let's do what do we want to do? Let's do a tube. Let's do two. Let's do a broken tube. See what we can get. All right, there you go. That is a very obvious EQ curve and color that you get. And as we do the drive up, that's very interesting, because these two it's happening again. Why? I don't know. Burton, if you're, I don't know, because I think it may be, I'm not sure what's causing this actually. There we go. I'm not sure what's actually causing that, y'all. My apologies again. But it's interesting that you have two notches here. You have one here and you have one here. And as you increase the drive, the inverse happens. Like, those two frequencies are accentuated. It's very, very interesting. Very interesting. All right, let's go to another plugin. And this one is Kaz-Raw's True Iron. And this is one of the plugins I do enjoy using. Okay, so on default setting, there is a little something here. There is definitely something going on in this region here. Not too much. I mean, there's a very, very slight bump here. Very, very, very slight bump there. I'm going to start turning knobs. I'm just going to start turning knobs, and we'll see what's going on underneath the hood of this plugin. Okay. That's a big difference. That is good to know. Wow. That's a very obvious curve. Very obvious. And I think that's, you know what? Let's see if we can, I don't want this video to be too long. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. What plugin do we want to do? Let's try, I think I want to, I think I want to try an EQ. Let's do an EQ. All right. So this is the Pultec emulation by Analog Obsession. And as you see, there's a default. Now, I didn't expect to see this. I actually thought it was going to be flat, but it does not have a flat EQ response. So there's some color that is happening with this plugin without you turning a knob. And this always answered my question, because I would hear even mixers say, or mastering engineers say, especially like top guys, especially somebody like, I believe I heard Leslie. He loves the UAD version of, I believe it's the 670 compressor. I believe it's the 670 compressor. Man, the actual it's the 670 compressor. But anyway, he just loves how it feels without him touching nothing. And I used to always scratch my head and wonder, okay, what's going on? It's a plugin. It's not like it's running through electronics where you just get something from that piece of hardware without even touching it, because that's a common thing with hardware. You get a certain color because of the electronics that are running through the unit and everything that's comprised in the unit and all that other good stuff, capacitors, transformers, all that good stuff. But with the plugin, it's a plugin. And this answers my question. So in their design, what they're doing is they are implementing an EQ curve, as well as the how it looks, but they're simulating the EQ curve that you would get running through the actual hardware unit. So you can love a plugin just how it sounds, and you don't have to touch a knob. It's because that there's something that's going on behind the scenes, or rather underneath the hood of the plugin. But that aside, because I really didn't expect that, but that does answer a question that I always had about plugins. But anyway, let's go ahead and mess around with some of these knobs and see what's kind of EQ curve what's happening, especially with this. And with the Pultec EQ, it definitely, a lot of people do 60. So let's boost 60. See what that looks like. And I've heard this before. When it says that when you're boosting 60, you're not actually boosting 60 alone. You're boosting let's just follow this curve. You're boosting everything starting around 400 and below. And at the same time, you're attenuating. So hold on, so when I'm attenuating 60 and boosting 60, it gives me this dip here around 650. That's interesting. Very interesting, actually. All right, so let's move that down and let's see how this is attenuating the top end. So we're going to let's do 10K. Oh, see, there you go. There you go. All right, there you go. So that's what's happening before I even start to attenuate anything. You automatically, it's shaving off, starting from around 2K, then it starts to slopes off after that. And that's before. And so once I start attenuating, then it starts to really be more dramatic. So 10K, it does the same thing. And that's very interesting. That's good to know, because there's certain things that you want to know and while you're mixing and being deliberate. And this is fun. Honestly, this type of stuff I find it very, very fun. I can do this forever. But I want to end that video here. Again, the link is in the description. Go and check them out. And I want to encourage you as well to go and check out some of your favorite plugins. See if there's anything going on behind the scenes, or if you just want to know what type of EQ curve this plugin or hardware is giving me. It'll lift up the hood and it'll give that to you. And you can simulate a piece of hardware. You can kind of A/B and see if it works. There's so much things that you can do. You can experiment. You can if you want to know what's going on with a compressor, with an EQ, or even a reverb, anything that it's a plugin, any other your favorite saturators, even any type of clipping, or just anything that you would like to know if there's any color to the plugin before you even turn anything. You want to go ahead and check that out, because as you're mixing, when you reach for something, you have a better knowledge of how it's going to affect your source material. And so go ahead and do that. Thank you so much again. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching the video. I really appreciate it. And I will catch you in the next one. Until then, keep mixing, and we're going to go together. If you like and enjoy our content, please share, follow, and subscribe. We are on social media platforms such as YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, SoundCloud, Instagram, Facebook, and others. The sign up link, our social media links, as well as other valuable information can be found in the description.